Nitro 10.1. First we're doing factorial, which is like a classic case of using recursion. So the base case is we always check to see when we want to stop. When x is 1, we return the value 1. Otherwise, we're going to return, and this is where we do the recursive bit. So factorial is just multiply the current number times, and you recursively call calc factorial with x minus 1, so the next smallest integer. And that should basically be it. We're going to enter, say, 10. Oh man, those numbers do get big. There we go. Okay, now we're doing blast off. We're supposed to prompt our user. You could type this all out, or you could just say, you know, I have done this enough that I feel like I am reasonably confident with my ability to prompt the user. So there we go. We're going to make a new scanner, enter a number, and then instead of calling calc factorial, we're going to call it countdown, and otherwise it's exactly the same. The base case, I believe it's when it reaches 0. And we're gonna do less than 1, or I could do less than or equal to 0. Then we're going to return the word blast off with a bang. And otherwise, we're going to do recursive calls. We're going to return the current number plus, and then we're going to make a call to countdown. And because we're counting down by 2s instead of 1s, we are going to count down using the number minus 2. So it'll keep going until we hit our base case when we want to stop. By the way, if you check it exactly equal to 1 or 0, or exactly equal to 0 or negative 1, then it'll break. So we run that with 10. I forgot my space. So we gotta also add the space in. This is why you test your stuff. Check it. It does not like the fact that my prompt is slightly different. Fine, I can fix that. They almost never actually check what you write in the prompts, but this time they do. Look at that. Okay. 1, and then I'm putting the number on the wrong side. That makes sense because that will go after the word blast off. So instead, we gotta do number plus a space plus there, and then that will handle that. There we go. Okay, so that's blast off or countdown or whatever they called it. Okay, minimum value of an array list. And they're giving this hint that one thing you can do is you can do this recursively to find the minimum. It's either the last element or the minimum value of the rest of the array list. So we've got this, they've already built the part that asks for integers and builds an array list up. Great. And then they kind of walk us through the logic here. So the minimum value of that array, if we're going to do the base case, smallest length you can have, numbers.size, because this is an array list. If that size is equal to 1, then we would return the value. So we do numbers.get at position 0. Now the recursive call is that we're going to instead we're going to call it min. We're trying to find the minimum of the rest of the array list versus the last element. So we are going to do the minimum of the last element. I'm going to do a little bit of a trick here. We can use the math.min function to find the minimum of 2 values. And first, I'm going to get the last value. We can remove, and to get the last value, recall, we do numbers.size 0 minus 1 to get the index. And this gives us also, this returns an object from our array. So if we look at the ArrayList method remove, you put in an index, and it returns the element that you have just removed. So you could do this as 2 lines, as like first get, then remove, but hey, we can do this all at once. Or we can recursively call find minimum. And now we have shrunk our list, find minimum on numbers. So there's our recursive call using the min function. You could also do this with an if statement. And then we return min. Okay, let's try that. It's going to ask us for some numbers. Cannot find the symbol. Find minimum. That's because I put find minimum twice, which of course would be silly. Okay, I'm going to do 3, 8, 6, 2, 0, 8, and then -1 to exit. The minimum is 0. That looks pretty promising. Let's check it. All right, that is recursion to find a minimum. How fancy. Seems a little overly complicated, honestly, but hey, that is a valid way to do it. I would do that iteratively if it were me. Okay, now we got bacterial growth. You put bacteria on a doorknob, and then every 4 hours, each bacterium will create 4 more bacteria every hour. So there's a formula for it, which means we can do this recursively. Tells us that we're trying to make this colony size. The base case would be if there is 1 hour left. Actually, if there's 0 hours left. Okay. How many do we have? Okay, so we're starting with 7 bacteria. So if the hour is equal to, there is 0 hours remaining, then we return 7. Okay, the rest of the time we're going to return 7, the number of bacteria last hour plus the number of bacteria last hour plus 4. So bacteria gets colony size at 1 hour ago, hour minus 1, and return the num bacteria plus num bacteria times 4. I don't understand why isn't this just multiplying by 5? I don't understand why they wrote it out this way. But whatever, I spelled bacteria wrong. Okay, let's run that. They gave an example of 2 hours, which should be 175, so let's try that. So if we put in 2, we should get 175, so that looks good. Seriously though, why didn't they just multiply by 5 there? Anyway, that is 10.1.